I'm Corbett Wall with DV Auction, here with your feeder flash for Thursday, November the 12th, brought to you in part by Norfenicol by Norbrook. You know, it's an antibiotic to control and treat bovine respiratory disease. It is the bioequivalent of Nuflor, which most all of us know and love. We just hate to admit that we're not man enough to get it out of the bottle in the wintertime. But this Norfenicol is not as thick. It's a lot easier to use. It comes in a plastic bottle and a whole lot handier. So you guys need to look into it. We got a cattle market rally going on, and I tell you what, guys, I can't tell you how exciting it is to see what kind of ground we're going to gain in the fat cattle market arena this week. I probably haven't been as excited to tell you guys about some of these top quotes that I have at the end of the market report here, so be sure and hang with me till I give you those, because they are really eye-openers and something we haven't seen for a long time, and it's just going to be a lot of fun to get in here and talk about it. We've got to man up and really go for this big bite that we're going to get in the fat cattle market this week. I tell you what, I told you guys on the last visit, you sure need to be at $112. Maybe 13, 14. Your spot December live cattle is about $112 and a half. Why not start at $114? I was talking with some of my buddies today about that, and it kind of reminded me of talking about with some of my running buddies, how come we never get any of those really hot women? And they tell me, well, because we don't ask. Well, maybe that's how come we don't gain $5, $6, $7 a time in your cash fat cattle market, because we don't ask. You got to ask, guys. So, we know our market was $1.07 last week. We've seen one weak sister there sell out in Iowa at $1.08, but it hasn't set the market at all. But don't sell out, guys. Yeah, I'm talking to you. Don't sell out. I think we just need to think that the sky's the limit. If your spot live cattle futures are close to $112 and a half, why not ask $114? They might shoot you $112. Well, that'd be pretty darn good. Just got to hang in there. They need the cattle as bad or worse, probably, than you need to get rid of them. So just hang in there, guys, and let's see how much ground we can gain right here. We've got a lot of confidence in your feeder cattle market. We've seen these guys really dig in on some of these feeder cattle, these hard weaned, or maybe the rare true yearling cattle that are out there, and they really went off out in the deep water and bid on some of these cattle, and so they've got the confidence. We need to get that confidence in the fat cattle market, and it's you cash sellers that have to do it. And I know you guys always have to do the brunt of the work, but you're going to have to do it this time for the whole industry. And just hang in there, guys, and hold out as long as you can, because the market's coming to you. I've been traveling there this week. As you guys notice, I'm not at the friendly confines, but was in central Oklahoma on Tuesday night there, talking to a group at Redlands Community College in El Reno about the consolidation in the cattle market and its effect on rural Oklahoma. And it's something that they're very concerned about. And I enjoyed talking with the other presenters there, and it was kind of a good event there. They had that on Zoom, and then also I think they did record it if you guys want to go back and look at it. But it was an interesting event. Come down here to North Texas now, around Gainesville, for the Lone Star Angus Ranch Fall Bull Sale happening on Thursday here. If you guys are near this area and you want to get into some good quality, be sure and do that. Be headed later this week and this weekend. I'll be going out to New Mexico. Chris Earl's sale there, the Reverse Rockin' R Ranch there at Maxwell, New Mexico. Talk about numbers on some Angus bulls, and I tell you what, they've got them there. And some of you seed stock guys may need to look into that to diversify your genetics a little bit. But let's talk about your market here. Middle of the week. On Wednesday, your December live cattle futures up 52 cents at 112.40. February up 17 at 115.27. You're going out from there, down just 2 cents to up 80. So mostly on the higher side there on your live cattle Feeder cattle down just a tick in spots, but holding pretty good. And you have to remember the big gains that we saw on Monday. But November feeder cattle down a quarter at 140.60, which is still a big premium to what our index levels are at right now. And they're in the chase trying to get up there. And we've seen some really high cattle here the last few days. January feeder cattle futures down 20 cents at 140.20. You going out from there, down 35 cents to up 42, so pretty mixed on your out fronts. Like I mentioned on fat cattle, we haven't seen any trade at all. We've seen one string 500 head in Iowa sell at 108. Of course, that's probably some cattle that they were going to have a hard time getting $1.05 for last week. But that is not the market. We have not yet established it. The online sale had only about 1,100 head on there, but they had about 3 pens on there that they PO'd at 110 and 110 and a quarter. So those guys have set the bar there that they're sure wanting more than that. And like I said, we need to ask for at least $1.12, if not more than that. I say maybe 114 now. Maybe settle at $1.12 if you can get it. Box beef cutout values, choice cuts up 59 cents, but they've kind of settled right here after the huge gains that we've seen on Monday and Tuesday. But choice cuts on Wednesday afternoon, 222.84. Select down just 9 cents at 208.46. And I mentioned on our last visit that your select cuts had already gained $10 this week. So being off 9 cents is not a big deal. Your slaughter so far for the week through Wednesday, 352,000. That's just 7,000 less than this last week and 1,000 more than the same week a year ago. We're hoping for a big Saturday, and your packers are kind of needing it to get enough product in there to honor all the obligations they've already met between now and the end of the year. But let's talk about your feeder cattle market, your real-time index on DV Auction in the afternoon on Wednesday, as I'm recording this a little bit earlier than usual because I'm in Gainesville, Texas. I'm going to Kevin Harrison's Majestic Moose Wednesday evening and kind of looking forward to that. But your real-time index on Wednesday afternoon, 137.41. That's after the bulk of your feeder cattle auctions had finished, but still a few of them going on. But your CME cash feeder cattle index is chasing now. It had kind of been, your RTI was running just a little bit under it, but now your CME cash feeder cattle is in chase and trying to catch up, but still lagging quite a ways behind. But that 137.41 on your RTI is up 59 cents from Tuesday's late day. Let's talk about your big sales. OKC West, El Reno, Oklahoma, 9,800 head. Big run. They've had several weeks of lighter runs due to power outages when they were closed completely down, and then we didn't even see a big run after that. But now we've caught up, and aren't those guys glad that they didn't end up getting to sell their cattle until this week, because saw big gains. Light comparison on feeder steers, and they had gained quite a bit last week, but 1 to 2 higher on those. Feeder heifers $8 to $10 higher. Calves $4 to $10 higher. Best on your lightweights because there is wheat out there. And like I said, I was just in El Reno early this week, and they had enough moisture with their ice storms and things that it really brought your wheat up, and you can see it, and it looks pretty darn good, and guys are already turning out on that wheat, and it's time. Normally you see a normal turnout would be around November the 15th, and so with that moisture, guys in central Oklahoma and up in western Kansas are going to be able to turn out on that wheat. Texas Panhandle now, our ice storm just didn't amount to as near as much, and that seed set there from a lot of it from before Labor Day, and some guys were wondering if it had died, if it was even going to be able to do anything. But indeed, that little spit of moisture had with the ice storms there a couple weeks ago, you can see it sprouting up a little bit. And I tell you what, if we just get a ½ inch rain in the Texas Panhandle, I mean, we could have some wheat there, but it's just so hard to get this time of year. It's just we didn't get our rains in August and September like we normally do, and it's just super dry there, and now we don't expect any, but if we could just get something, it would be a godsend. But OKC West had one of our top quotes. Hang on for that. Winter Livestock, Dodge City, Kansas, 2,500 head. Feeders steady to $3 higher. Calves $3 to $6 higher. Bassett, Nebraska had a sale. Not one of their big specials, but still close to 3,000 head there, and a good sale. Had a stick out deal on there on some weaned steer calves. 83 of them, weighed 672 pounds, 163.75 in Bassett, Nebraska. Got several top quotes, and guys, these are some of the biggest quotes we've seen for many, many months. Sterling, Colorado, Sterling Livestock Commission. This is the biggest 5-weight quote that I've seen so far this fall. 101 head, 521 pound steers in Sterling, Colorado. $180, and you think that's not from the wheat that's popped up here just in the last couple of weeks? Definitely is. How about South Central Regional Stockyards, Vienna, the Patton family there? I told you about them on our last visit. They had a hell of a stick out deal. 110 head, 710 pound steers, and I was talking with Jimmy Craig there, my buddy. You guys know I talk about him a lot. And asked him about them, and he kind of knows cattle. He said I said, were they weaned calves? And he said, actually, they kind of had a yearling look to them, and they were green. So good as true yearlings. 110 head of them. Vienna, Missouri, weighed 710 pounds at $151. How about OKC West, El Reno Livestock Market, Farrell Cunningham, from Stewart, Oklahoma, and I was talking to John Cooper. He says he likes to make them good and he likes to make them big, and he likes to have them right in off grass green. Look at this deal. You never see it, and you can't believe what it brought. 100 head, 1,143 pound green grass yearling steers from Stewart, Oklahoma, in El Reno there. They bring $126.75. Wow. On a $107 fat cattle market. That's very, very impressive. How about Equity Cooperative, Walk-On, Iowa? Never talked about them before, but they showed up with a big load of steers that sold really well, and I wanted to talk about them. Equity Cooperative Market there. 55 head, 939 pound steers bring $138.75. Now, your Zach Tran top quote of the day is going to come out of my favorite market, and I am biased. I've told you guys that before, but where I spent many, many years, St. Joe Stockyards, St. Joe Mo, San Jose Stockyards right there. It's the last terminal market that's still in operation. They're selling them all at auction, of course, but I tell you what, they can still get the prices for them, and they get the kind of cattle in there. You know, I got a lot of friends around there. Everybody that works in and around that market are dear friends of mine. I've worked with them, I've traded with them, I've drank with them, we've hung out together for many years of my adult life, and sometimes they ring the bell, and they did it this week. They had 3 loads of these cattle now. They sold 2 in 1, but right around 800 pounds. They had the Gardner cattle in there weighing 791, bring $158.75. Now those cattle were true yearlings, bought back in April as light calves. He kept them all summer. And then the Knetter cattle, bought and sold by Larry Schrick, a longtime commission man there at St. Joe Stockyards. But those cattle, I tell you what, bought those cattle back in April and turned them out there, and they just had nothing but grass. Right there around Lawrence, Kansas, they bring those cattle back in there, had 2 loads of them, weighed 805 pounds at $158.75, and that's a quote. And that's your feeder flash for Thursday.